Hello, I'm Karen Stroud, Director of Community Relations for the Douglas County School System. Welcome to .edu.
Welcome to this edition of .edu. I'm Kelly Hunter, the Communications Director with the City of Douglasville. And on today's program, I have a very special guest, Leadership Douglas class member, Dr. Gordon Pritz.
Thank you, Kelly. Good to be here.
Nice to have you with us today. You've been on board now with the school system since May the 1st of 2010. That's just about almost a year, coming up, approaching that. It's been a whirlwind of a ride so far?
Been a lot of things going on that I've been fortunate to be a part of. Just feel real fortunate just to be a part of the Douglas County school system in my current capacity.
Well, I know I hear nothing but good compliments and comments about you out in the field, so you've made quite of an impression, I believe, already in your first few months and time frame there.
Thank you.
As you've gone about what you would call a courtship period here, what are some of the things that you've been able to identify and maybe pinpoint as challenges for our school system here in Douglas County?
Well, it was real important for me to get to know the community and get to know the school system and the people who work in the school system, to really try to get to be very familiar with the culture of the school system. So I spent a lot of my first month actually just getting out to all the schools and visiting with principals and teachers, and was able to do that through the month of May before school got out, and paid a visit to every school. I spent some time with each principal, and then in the building with some of the teachers and of course some of the students. Then I worked hard at trying to get to know some of the workings of the district and how things operated and understand that, and really built on that knowledge, or tried to build on that knowledge, to just kind of get to know the culture of the school system. And so that was my big challenge, was being able to do that, and that's an ongoing challenge. I continue to try to get out into the schools on a regular basis and stay in touch and contact with the folks who are doing the heavy lifting and doing the work out there, and that's our teachers and our administrators.
And I think overall you probably would have good compliments and comments about our staffs at our schools and in the local area?
Well, one of the things that has been very apparent to me in this short time is that we have a huge number of dedicated and very committed people who work with our kids. They love what they do, they love the kids they work with, and that makes for a school system to be great. And so that's been not really a surprise, but a very pleasant finding, is that we have a group of people who are the foundation of our schools, and do the work every day to make us even better.
And I imagine some of that workforce, some of the staffing and faculty, they've been around and been committed for several years here in the school system. Is that correct as well?
Well, we have a nice mix. We have those folks who have grown up in Douglas County and gone through the schools, and now they're working in the schools, and that's a very important thing to have in place to continue that culture. But we also were able to hire this past year well over 100 new folks to come into the school system, some of those fresh out of college, and bring in some new ideas and new perspectives, and so that has added to our culture and enriched it, I think.
All right. As you've, I guess, had your eyes and ears, and you've gone through that process of learning our culture, as you've said, here within the Douglas County school systems, what might you do as a comparison you came from the Cobb County school systems? Are there some comparisons, some vast differences, something that...
Well, I think the challenges of the school systems around the state and the country even are very similar. We're all dealing with the economic downturn and how that's impacted funding to our schools. And we basically receive our funding from two sources: the local monies through property taxes, and then state monies. And so as those have decreased in the amounts that were provided, we've had to figure out ways to get the same job done with less resources and less money, and that's a challenge. It was a challenge in the school system I came from, and it's certainly a challenge in Douglas County. But we have a lot of very talented people who are very, very capable of tightening up the bootstraps, so to speak, when they need to, and we find ways to get the job done and even do more than we have been asked to do in the past with less. So that's kind of our new normal, if you will, and we're working hard to make that work every day.
So would you say, if you had to pinpoint it to one particular challenge that's the greatest for our school system here locally, would be the financial end of that?
I think that would be the obvious answer, that the economic challenge that we face is daunting at times. So that would certainly be the number one challenge, because we're tasked to provide the same amount of service, if not more, with less. So we have to figure out how to make that work. Our other challenge, of course, is student achievement. That's what we're here for. That's what we're here to mold and develop young people into productive citizens in our community, and to be successful beyond high school. And so, we work on the student achievement aspect every day. And so, as standards are raised and rigor is increased, our job becomes more difficult in that area as we work with the kids and the parents.
All right. Well, as you're moving us forward here, looking at the next couple of years and on down the road, as Douglas County is growing, how is the Douglas County school system going to address the challenge of the growth? Because I imagine with growth there comes the opportunity for needed space, additional teachers and faculty and staff, but all of that probably ties back to the challenge of the dollars, the funding, the finances.
Well, we've been very fortunate that our school board and Mr. Remillard, our former superintendent, did an excellent job in positioning our school system well to handle this downturn in the economy. And so financially, although we've had to make some cuts, as every school system in the state has had to do, we've had some furlough days that our teachers and our staff and our administrators have had to experience. Even though we've had those kind of challenges and those kind of, like I said, challenges to make ends meet, so to speak, we've positioned ourselves well financially. We've got a strong reserve that we were able to draw from, and really your reserve is your rainy day fund, and we certainly are experiencing a rainy day in terms of the economy. So we've drawn on that, and that's helped us lessen the impact of the cutbacks. Some school systems had to cut instructional days. We didn't do that. We were able to stay at our 180-day calendar. But as we struggle again in this coming year, we'll have to look at ways to make it work again. But we're poised well, and we're in good position to handle it, and I feel confident we'll be able to. We have people who are willing to sacrifice and have sacrificed, and when you have that kind of spirit and that kind of attitude, then you can get through these difficult times.
All right. Well, in looking at sacrifice and making those financial commitments, is there something that maybe that I've heard that may be on the ballot coming up in our next election?
Well, I think our citizens are very familiar with the special purpose local option sales tax that our government allows us to let the voters make a decision on. And in Douglas County, we've had 3 of those, and we're currently in the 3rd SPLOST, and that 1 penny on the dollar goes to support our schools. And it provides for our facilities, our facility needs, and it provides for other things such as technology and textbooks and things of that nature. So we've been very fortunate to have that in place in Douglas County. That runs out at the end of this year. And so our school board has seen the benefits and the wisdom of a 1% sales tax, and they have decided that's something we need to demonstrate a need for again and go to the voters to ask their approval of that. So in the fall, in November, we'll be going to the voters with that. We have a lot of work to do before we're ready to ask them to vote on that item. So we will develop a specific needs list, and we will do some meetings with the public to make them aware, and provide that in-depth information on what's needed to make our schools work in terms of our physical plant and also our technology needs. And that one penny goes a long way in
Sure.
making it work. And when we have times like this, it's even more important. And of course, there are a lot of benefits to it because it relieves the burden to some degree on our taxpayers because others help us. Those who visit our county help us in
Right.
building our schools. So we'll be working on that diligently, and in the early fall, we'll be coming forward with specifics on that and asking the public to give that some consideration once again.
Well, we'll definitely have to have you back. Use this forum as hopefully one of those platforms that you can get the right message out to the right people, to the audience, and get the support for that coming up once again.
Thank you. I appreciate that opportunity if we can do that.
Well, Dr. Pritz, thank you for being with us today, our guest here
Thank
on .edu. And I do want to extend the invitation to come back and join us. Use this forum, this platform here to inform the viewers about upcoming events and the SPLOST that you had mentioned, as well as other things with the Douglas County school system.
I appreciate that. Anytime. Thank
right.
you.
Thank you for being
Kelly.
with us.
Thank you.
And if you'll stay with us, we'll be right back with more .edu. Welcome back to this edition of .edu. Our special guests here in the studios today is our Douglas County school system. We've spoke with Dr. Pritz, our new school superintendent, and my next guest joining me is the new principal, Miss Connie Kraft from New Manchester High School. Good to have you with us, Connie.
Thank you.
We'll shake hands there.
Good to be here.
Good to have you with us. So I guess my first question I want to ask you is, can you somehow through those cameras generate the excitement that's going on at the New Manchester High School?
Oh, if I could be a cheerleader, I would stand up and do a cheer for you. But
You want to? No.
I don't know.
I always dreamed of being a cheerleader.
Me too, and I didn't quite make that, but it's so exciting. There's just so much work to be done, but it's all just a wonderful anticipatory mood to get everybody ready to go. The students are excited, the parents are excited, teachers are excited, everybody.
Great.
Everybody's working very hard to make it a reality.
Now, if I understand correctly, you've held 2 open houses.
That's correct.
Great success on both of those?
Yes, a very big turnout both weekends.
Okay, and the idea behind those was to actually, get students as well as parents familiar with the new facility and campus?
It had many purposes, actually.
Okay.
One was to allow students an opportunity to see the facility before making a decision about where they wanted to attend school next year. The county has given students a choice if they're already in high school. They're allowed to stay at their base school if they choose to do that, and we felt that it was very important that they have an opportunity to see what they might be turning down.
Sure.
So we
Yes.
wanted them to come and look. Parents came as well, and parents were very excited. And we also had a lot of teachers who were interested perhaps in transferring to a new facility, coming on board with a new culture, and they came along as well to look and view and just see everything, and they were excited.
And by those turnouts from both of those, do you have any anticipated student base at this time?
We're anticipating, based on numbers that we received to date, around 1,450 to 1,500 students.
Wow, and that's a good, remarkable
it's a
turnout so far.
wonderful
at this point.
turnout.
Are you
yes.
planning possibly another open house at any point?
We will be doing some other open houses as we get a little more moved into the facility. We want to dress it up just a little bit, and we of course have had many community tour groups come through, just individuals who want to come through, and we're welcoming everybody to do that.
Okay.
But we will have some published dates down the way. They're predetermined, but we'll get there.
Well, kind of give our viewers, if you would, an idea about the new high school. I mean, I can imagine, well, I did have the opportunity, City TV had the opportunity to tour with you and get a guided tour, and we'll highlight that at the end of this segment today. But what are some of the new things that are there that are exciting and different?
Well, aside from the fact, as Dr. Pritz said, it's a state-of-the-art facility, which in itself is just unimaginable. It's incredible. We have a performing arts center that is incredible. It has a very large theater seating capacity. It has state-of-the-art lighting, sound, equipment, everything that we would want to see for a performing arts program. It's just absolutely magnificent.
Broadway
Yes.
could come here,
Yes.
could they not?
Yes.
Yes.
Theater pit. We have a band room, a choral room that are, again, state-of-the-art facilities so that students can hear themselves as they perform. They have the playback capabilities, things that we've not had in the past to enhance their programs.
And I thought it was pretty interesting on our tour. Tell us about the Bring Your Technology program.
Bring your own technology. It's a little frightening, I think, sometimes when people hear us say that. Students bring it every day. And what
But
we
now
want,
it'll be
now it'll be legitimatized,
legit.
and what we want to do is to encourage students to harness that interest they have in technology for instructional purposes as well as social networking.
Right, and I think the way you addressed it in the tour was, it's here, we need to embrace it.
That's right.
And use it for the best
That's right.
ability that we can for advancing their educational needs.
That's right. It is the 21st century for these students.
It is. So, wow, this is a big move for you. I mean, tell us a little bit. How long have you been in the county with the school system, your education background, that type of thing?
I've been in the county for 12 years, and I have been in education all my life. I've worked with children from infants all the way up through high schoolers in various different career pathways, and I've always found myself coming back to high school as the place of choice.
Good.
This is my niche and my passion, so I enjoy this the most.
And that's what they say, or I've heard said, in the education field, when you find that age group, that specific, that you relate to, and you know that you're making an impact and they're connecting with you, that's the best place to
That's the place to be.
So as you're looking at this new facility, who do you already have on staff? I know you had mentioned, or Dr. Pritz had mentioned, I guess, earlier in his conversation, that you'll be looking at staffing this. Where's that staffing, the faculty coming from?
All right, people have to realize that we're reallocating space for students, and we're also reallocating space for teachers.
Okay.
Which means that a large number of teachers will be shuffling around, and we are looking at transfer applications right now and trying to fill most of our spaces with people from within the county.
All right. And do you have staff on board already?
Yes, I do. So far, we have an assistant principal for curriculum and instruction. That's Ms. Vonda Strong. And we have an assistant principal who is also our athletic director, Mr. Sean Bissell.
Wow. And they both came then from within the
Yes,
school
they
systems
did.
here?
They did.
Great. So it sounds like just a really exciting place. I know for myself, in 1978, I went through the transition from Douglas County High School. I moved here our freshman year, double sessions, and I went through that transition, had the same opportunity with Lithia Springs High School. It was the state-of-the-art school of the time. It was. And since then, we've had Chapel Hill High School and Alexander both built out. They have both, each time, the standard has been raised with great facilities, and a short time frame for all of that to have really happened.
When you think about it, it is.
It really is. And so now here we are with our
fifth high school.
Fifth high school here within the county. And the capacity there, I think you had said,
it's right around 2,000 at capacity.
So that'll help alleviate the overcrowded other high schools. And what does that help do for my student or my child's education?
What parents need to realize is that portables are things that we have to turn to in moments of need, but they're not always the most optimum circumstance for education. And having a high school that can absorb that overload from the others is going to benefit every student in the county, because it can help reduce class sizes, put them all under roof so they're in classrooms that were built for classroom space, and just help create a culture and an environment where it's more conducive.
Right. And you know, I think we have that in place here with the new Manchester High School.
Yes, we do.
Well, Connie and Ms. Kraft, thank you for joining us here today, and thank you for being our guest. I think we're going to end out the .edu portion with that guided tour that you took City TV, our staff and crew,
wonderful,
and put together.
Good.
Thank you for being our guest today.
Thank you. My pleasure.
All righty. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Connie Kraft, principal of New Manchester High School. Welcome. I'd like to take you on a tour of our new facility. You have just entered the main office area for the school. This is the reception area where we anticipate having our receptionists sit in this area, which is the forefront of the administrative offices and the counseling offices. This is our entryway. This is where we anticipate greeting the public. The office to my left is the attendance office, and as you saw the roll door when we entered the building, that's where the attendance clerks will greet students and any parent requests that we might have or needs that could be met in that area. They'll come to that roll down window, which will be more convenient, we hope, than having to come all the way inside the main office. Teacher work area. We have teacher mailboxes. We have storage spaces, places for small refrigerator units, microwaves to accommodate working people during the day. One of the nice features at New Manchester is basically what we'll call the sick room. It's a room that's isolated, but it allows 6 students to be attended here without having to be in the mainstream population. And this is the principal's office. I'm excited. We have a lot of space to do a lot of things. We can have small meetings, parent meetings, a lot of space to do the things that we haven't been able to do in some of our other facilities, so it's very, very encouraging. Now this particular area we're very excited about. This is a staff development room, and this will give us flexibility to have meetings, to have department chair meetings, common course team meetings, outside meetings, just anything that we want to use as a multi-purpose possibility, but it's an incredible space. We can set it up classroom style, theater style, whatever is going to work for the meeting at hand, so we've got that capability, which is great. It is a separate facility, and we're very pleased that that is the case. It allows us to utilize it as a fine arts center in a number of ways. It could be a community issue, it could be a school issue, things that can occur during school hours that won't interrupt the school day. So we're very fortunate that it is a separate facility. As we come into the theater, you'll notice it's very large, and what we have determined is that it will seat approximately 780 people. That would be the largest theater facility that we would have at any of the high schools in the county. We're excited about the state-of-the-art opportunities that occur with this particular building, in that the lighting, the acoustics, the black box stage, and the orchestra pit are all things that are in addition to what we've been able to have in other areas in the county. It will support our desire to look at this school becoming a fine arts performing school. This is going to be the stage production area where they will build sets. There's the loading dock area from the outside, but this will be their construction site where they will store sets, can build sets, paint, do everything they need to do for any productions. Oh, it's beautiful. It has all of the sound baffles, the panels. And if you look at the small rooms that are along this front wall, this is where he has space for ensembles to practice, for different groupings to go in and practice together. And there's an area for storage, a pass-through window for the uniforms, just an incredible space for band, and the acoustics are to die for. They're wonderful. Now, one of the features that I wanted to show you guys is they have the capability to record as they play and then let them hear it played back. This is the choral room. Same thing available here. We have the sound baffles that will support a good sound, and students will have the capability to be recorded and hear themselves as they are working. And we also have the individual practice rooms for the various groups that might need to get together. As you can see as we walk through the building, that the color scheme of scarlet and gray appears in varying shades and configurations to support our school colors, but it just brings the school alive. All right, this is the media center. As you come in the entryway, you can see the display cases, and as you enter, you can look about this particular room and see that we have a number of small areas that are conducive for office space, small meeting rooms, conference rooms, student reading rooms, teacher work rooms, storage space for AV equipment, and a workspace for the media specialist. With media being the hub for the AV equipment storage, we want to mention that the entire school is Wi-Fi driven, so that will support one of the major emphasis for the school, which is our Bring Your Own technology. Students will be given the capability under supervision and direction to bring in technology that's personal in order to incorporate it in their studies in the classroom and to support their learning in all areas. This is an exciting area. We're just so pleased to have this opportunity. It's a covered courtyard space that will allow us to do many things that we've not had capability to do in the past. Our ROTC folks who've looked at this facility say this is a great place to do drills. Our students who need to practice dance lines, inclement weather keeps them from going outside sometimes. This would be a good place to practice. And this particular end of the courtyard is adjacent to the cafeteria, and we'd like to put some picnic tables and some seating areas for students who want to come outside when the weather is conducive. It's just a general purpose area that lends itself to many, many things. This is our cafeteria. As you can see, the columns add quite a bit of character. I think the seating capacity in the cafeteria is going to be around 700, maybe 750, but that will depend on seating arrangements once we get tables, chairs in and have pathways to determine what kind of aisle space we need. So it may be just a bit smaller number than that, but it will probably be larger than any other cafeteria size that we have in the county. And the nice thing about it is that it will allow us a little more time between groups coming through to get ready for the next group. It's difficult when you run a high school with 4 or 5 lunch shifts and they turn over within 2 to 5 minutes. It's hard to get one space cleaned and ready for the next group to be received. Kitchen space is state of the art. It is beautiful. I think we have 6 serving lines, walk-in freezers. And the nice thing too is at the end of this particular space we have an area for seating, meetings. If we wanted to do that, we have our LCD and our whiteboards ready to project and use it for whatever we need after hours or even during the school day if it was a meeting that was required for the students. If you'd like to look into just a standard classroom, you're going to see that we have a whiteboard, an LCD projector, and we also have a space for a Promethean board that probably has not been installed but is on the way, and this will support our new technology emphasis. And I haven't mentioned this as we walk down the hallways, but it's interesting to note that the restrooms connect all the way through. So if they go in one side, they could actually go out the doorway on the other hallway. And they're very large, which is very nice. As you'll notice as we go down the hallway that the hall ahead of us is dark, and the reason for that is that the school is designed to be energy efficient, and as we're walking we will find that our lights will turn on based on the motion. The energy efficiency that we mentioned earlier coming up the hallway applies to the individual classrooms as well, and as we walk into the science room you'll see that each room will light as we enter. Science labs are beautiful. We have plenty of storage, locking storage at that, so that teachers can control supplies and keep harmful chemicals away from students when they don't need to have access. We have individual student lab stations, and we have the teacher lab station at the front of the classroom. The prep rooms are designed to run between 2 science labs. This allows for teacher storage and access from both of the lab spaces. Here you can see the dishwasher for the science beakers, tubes, anything that we might need. Outside ticket booth, as you come into the gym lobby area, to my left is the concession stand, and to my right we have a wall display for trophies. I'm most proud of our new gym facility. We have actually 2 gyms. We're looking at the main gym right now. This is our primary varsity staging area. As you noticed as we walked in, the gym is also a separate freestanding building, and that's wonderful in that it allows us to have activities and events that will not interrupt the instructional day for the rest of the students should we choose to do that. It allows athletic events to occur early in the afternoon, plenty of parking, again, nice accommodation for the public. As you look in front of us, you can see our athletic complex. The first and foremost is our football field, which is a turf field. You can see the Jaguar that's embedded, beautiful Jaguar. We have if you're facing the field from the school, you look to the left, you're going to see the home stands. And at the top of the home stands, we have the press box. Behind the press box is the concession stand area, ticket area for people who are coming to events. And surrounding the football area, the field area, to the far end of the field, we're going to see the field house. And then as we look up to the left of the field house area, we see the softball field and the baseball field. If we look to the right, we're going to see 6 tennis courts, and beyond that, we're going to see the football practice field. And across, of course, from the home stands, we see our visitors area, which also has a concession stand set up, which is very nice. That means that we won't have to cross over patrons from the game with any rivalries, which will help a great deal. And if you look to the front of the school, you're also going to see a field area that has been designed for the band practice field. So that is also part of what we want to include as our outdoor activity space. In closing, I'd like to thank you for being part of our virtual tour of New Manchester High School. We want to invite you to come and literally visit the campus in person, and in doing so you have many opportunities as a member of the community. You can serve as a supporter of the school in whatever capacity feels good. That would include being a mentor to students, becoming a partner in education, or as a volunteer. We again extend that invitation and hope that you will take us up on this opportunity to become part of New Manchester's family.